Hi, Brenden here, and I have a story I want to share with you all today about how we reversed Alzheimer's disease, something most consider impossible. And in some of the videos I make, the claims may sound too good to be true, but the reality is that these are the true stories about the results we're getting for our clients. So, this one guy's mother was dealing with advanced stage Alzheimer's disease. And I know exactly how devastating that can be because my grandma was suffering from it in the past. Now, in this case, it was so severe she couldn't even recognize some of her own family members. She was at the point where she couldn't hold a coherent conversation with them and needed a caregiver 24/7. So she was in a pretty bad state, right? Now, let me tell you what happened in just 1 month of being on my prescribed peptide stack. And in fact, she saw improvements in as little as 1 week. So she was able to have coherent conversation with her family members for up to 4 hours, and she recognized them completely. She even called all the members in her family personally and hosted a family reunion, coordinating the entire thing on her own without any help. Just imagine how rewarding that must have been for everybody in the family. I mean, she's much more independent now, and her doctor was, well, he couldn't believe it. I mean, he even called it a miracle, and he said that after he saw her for himself. Because reversing late-stage Alzheimer's disease, it's pretty much something that everybody considers to be impossible. You know, now, in my free course, The Life-Changing Magic of Peptides, I cover one specific peptide that's been proven to help in Alzheimer's in transgenic mouse models with 3 mutations that lead to amyloid plaque buildup. This peptide was shown to regrow mushroom spines by 100% and correct metabolic disturbances that contribute to the disease. You can get this free course by clicking the link in the description. Or, if you want a full consult and personalized program to help your loved one with Alzheimer's, check the other link. But in this video, I want to dive into some new research as of 2024. It goes into what actually drives Alzheimer's disease progression, and the root of it all appears to be impaired glucose metabolism in the brain. Now, it's not that simple, so let me explain. There's an enzyme in the brain called IDO1, and while impaired glucose metabolism is associated with its increase, it's also increased by inflammatory cytokines and oxidative stress, which can occur as part of the senescence-associated secretory phenotype, also known as SASP. And again, impaired glucose metabolism can contribute to this pathology as well. So when this condition develops, IDO1 also increases and converts tryptophan, an amino acid used to produce serotonin, into a harmful metabolite called kynurenine. And high levels of IDO1 drive dysfunctional astrocytes. Now, you may not know what astrocytes are, but think of them as the quality control of our neurons. Their job is to keep our neurons healthy. But when astrocytes become dysfunctional, as they do in Alzheimer's disease, they starve neurons of energy by reducing lactate transfer from the astrocytes to the neurons. And this leads to impaired cognition and an increase in tau protein tangles and amyloid beta buildup, blocking neurons from communicating properly. Now, this increases oxidative stress and inflammatory cytokines, which further upregulates IDO1, which accelerates the decline in neuron energy availability and cognitive decline. So, it is this vicious cycle, which is why people with Alzheimer's disease typically don't improve. They only get worse. So, what's the solution? Well, the recent paper I mentioned talks about using an IDO1 inhibitor, which is actually a type of cancer drug that could be repurposed to improve brain glucose homeostasis. Now, they demonstrated that this can improve several aspects of cognition in Alzheimer's disease, and it makes sense. I mean, we have seen that intranasal insulin can improve cognition in Alzheimer's disease, but it's also limited since it has a hard time reaching the hippocampus, which is what's most implicated in Alzheimer's disease. Now, while IDO1 inhibitors and intranasal insulin show some promise, these methods are still light years behind the innovative approaches we've developed for our clients, which have consistently yielded positive results. You see, we were just following proven peptide science, including how certain peptides were able to regrow mushroom spines by 100% in transgenic mice, and improve cognition in mice that were given diabetes, and even improve cognition in healthy mice, and in healthy humans. So, not only does the mechanistic data on these strategies show an inhibition of IDO1 indirectly through multiple mechanisms, but also reducing oxidative stress, boosting neuroprotective factors, increasing the non-amyloidogenic pathway, and reversing senescence of both neurons and the blood vessels to control the. While the improved metabolic health, like better glucose regulation, can improve mitochondrial functioning and gene transcription, Peptides can also directly stimulate gene expression and decondense chromatin, which puts them a step ahead. So to recap, a major problem in Alzheimer's is impaired glucose metabolism in the brain, and while theories about oxidative stress and dysfunctional astrocytes aren't wrong, they're just components of the problem. So if you want the best possible outcome for someone suffering from Alzheimer's, check out the link in the description. After reviewing your loved one's situation, we can provide a specific peptide stack, medication adjustments, and optimizations for lifestyle and nutrition, all uniquely tailored to them. Now, in this person that I mentioned at the start of this video, they wanted to avoid injections and nasal sprays, so we put them on an only oral stack, and even that was enough to give the transformation that I described. So it's just amazing, guys.